All right, so continuing on with the review, okay? We're going to be using this picture. I'm doing number 16, okay? And doing number 16, we're working on this picture right here, okay? Okay, it says that if the measure of angle 2, which is this angle right here, is x minus 2, and the measure of angle 4, which is this angle right here, is 4x plus 7, solve for x. Okay? Well, angle 2 and angle 4 have a special relationship. Okay? There's two type of relationships that we have discussed so far. Okay? There's vertical angles and there's linear pair. What type of relationship are those two angles, 2 and 4? Good. They're a linear pair. They're adjacent angles that form a line, which means they are supplementary. Supplementary means they add up to 180 degrees. So therefore, x minus 2 plus 4x plus 7 equals 180 degrees. That's how you set it up, okay? Then you just combine like terms and start solving for x. Combine your x and you get 5x. Negative 2 and a 7 gives me a positive 5 equals 180. Okay, solve for x, subtract 5, you get 175. Divide by 5, 35? Is that right? Let me see. Okay. So 175 divided by 5. That was right. Okay, so this means x equals 35. Once you solve for x, right? Okay, and that's what the question is asking. So guess what? You're done, right? So the relationship there was the fact that they are supplementary. That's the biggest thing you want to take away from there. So for number 16, okay? All right, on to number 17. And I'm assuming it's talking about the same picture because it said 16 through 19, right? Or 12 through, no, it says 12 through 16. Okay. I think this is just two different things. If the measure of angle 3 equals 3x plus 10, okay, and the measure of angle 2 equals 2x plus 20, the measure of angle 4 equals 4y, solve for x and y. So I'm assuming that they're using 17 with that picture. Okay, so let's go ahead and delete this angle 3 and angle 2. So what's the relationship with angle 3 and angle 2? Angle 3 and angle 2 are linear pairs. So that means that they are supplementary. They add up to 180, right? Okay, so that means that 3x plus 10 plus 2x plus 20 equal 180 degrees. Combine your like terms. 5x plus 30 equals 180. Solving for x equals 30. $50. No, it's 30. Yeah. Because minus 30 would be 150. 150 divided by 5 is 30. Okay. All right. So now we know x is 30. We want to solve for y. And we can do that by plugging in that 30 in for x. So let's go ahead and let's plug it in. The relationship with 4. So 4 is the same thing as angle 3, right? Angle 3 and 4 are vertical angles. So that means that they're congruent. Okay? So if I find out whatever the measure angle 3 is, I should be able to find out the measure angle 4. Okay? So we plug in that 30 here. Right? So 3 times 30 is 90 plus 10 is 100. So angle 4 equals 100. So 100 equals 4y. Divide both sides by 4, and y equals 25. Man. The formatting on this review is terrible. I just recorded that. Oops. Okay. So now we're looking at 18. 18 is by itself. Okay. It's describing what's happening. So it says ray DB is the bisector of angle ADC. So I'm going to go ahead and draw this, right? And remember that when I draw this, it's just for visualization. It's not for 100% accuracy. Okay? Remember that. Okay? So it's saying DB is the bisector of angle ADC. So here's A, here's D, and here's C. Okay? DB is a bisector of angle ADC. Okay? So what that means is that these two angles are congruent. Okay? If the measure of angle ADB, should put B over here, by the way. Okay? If the measure of angle ADB equals 2x plus 50, and the measure of angle BDC equals 8x minus 40, solve for x, I guess. Solve for x, draw and find angle ADC. Okay, so we're going to solve for x. So we already drew it, so that's great. All right, with that being said, since DB is the angle bisector there, that means that these two angles are congruent. The definition of congruency is equality. Okay, the same, yes. Okay, so that means, just in case, angle ADB is congruent to angle BDC. Right? Those two angles are congruent. Okay? So that means that 2x plus 50 is equal to 8x minus 40. Okay? Solving for x, we get 6x equals, what is that, 90? Divide both sides by 6. Right? So 90 divided by 6 is 15. So x equals 15. So we solve for x. Now this next question says find the measure of angle ADC. So that's the big one. So what I want to do is I want to put x into one of those angles. I'm going to put it right here because to me that's the easiest one. 2 times 15 plus 50. 2 times 15 is 30. 30 plus 50 is 80. If this angle is 80 degrees, then this angle must also be 80 degrees, correct? If that's the case, then the whole entire angle, ADC, is 160 degrees. Yes? Okay. Leave that up there a little bit. All right. So, going on to the next one. It says angle REI and angle IEV are a linear pair. Oof. So angle REI and IEV are a linear pair. REI. Okay, so angle REI and IEV are a linear pair. So they form a linear pair. That means they're supplementary. Okay, EW bisects angle ERI. So those are congruent, and that's EW. The measure of angle WEI equals 33 degrees. So this is 33 degrees. Angle IEV is equal to, so that's talking about this angle right here. IEV is 3x minus 6. Find the measure of angle WEV. Okay, so WEV, just in case, and I'm going to kind of highlight a little bit. This is WEV. That's the angle we're going to be looking for. So I already know part of it's 33. Now I need to solve for x, right? So just want to show you so that you understand. The first thing we said was that we had linear pairs, right? So what's the measure of this whole entire angle? That whole entire angle is 180 degrees. Okay? All right. So now that we know that, we said that this ray EW bisects angle REI. So if this angle is 33, that means that this angle is also 33 degrees. Everyone okay with that? Okay. Which means that this angle right here, we can find to be 66 degrees. Right? 33 plus 33 is 66. Okay. So I know that REI equals 66 degrees. And because angle REI and IEV are a linear pair, that means that they're supplementary, right? So I can say 66 plus angle IEV equals 180 degrees. Yes? Okay. Solve for IEV. Subtract 66 to both sides. And angle IEV equals 120. Oh, 66, not 6. Sorry. 100, that should be 66. Okay. So 114. Right? Okay. Now that I know that that angle right here, that's talking about this angle right here, is 114, I can set up the expression 3x minus 6 equals 114 degrees. Or, well, no, I guess I don't really have to do that, right? I don't even need to solve for x. I know this angle is 114, 114 plus 33, right? Okay. So that gives me 147. So angle WEV equals 147. I don't have to solve for x. Does it say solve for x? No, it doesn't. Yeah, that's good. Okay, number 20, you're going to have to look at the answer key. I think 20 and 21, it's a typo, and so I apologize for that. I think on the answer key that's on Schoology, everything's clearer, I hope. Rhea, is it? Yeah. Okay, so I apologize. There's typos on that. But look at the answer key. It does show you the correct way to do those. Okay? All right? Or not the ways, but it tells you the answers. Okay, so on number 22, okay, we have these two angles here. They're across from each other. What's the relationship with those two angles? Okay, there's only two relationships. Verticals, right? And since these angles are vertical angles, they are equal. Good. So 3x plus 5 equals 70, right? Solving for x, subtract 5, you get 3x equals 65. And x is going to give you a decimal. I believe it's, so 65 divided by 3 is going to be 21 and 2/3. And 2/3. Or 21.66. Is that what it is? Yeah. Oh, it has a mixed fraction, huh? 21. So 42/3. Is that what it has, Rhea? It's all good. Don't worry about it. I'm pretty sure. Over 3? Oh, yeah, that makes sense. I don't know where I got 42. Thank you. All right, so 23. G is the midpoint of FH, right? So let's draw a segment FH. I wish I would just make it a straight line. G is the midpoint. Yeah. Okay. Is that enough for me to say that that's the midpoint? No, we got to have our congruency marks, right? So G is the midpoint of FH. Find x if FG, that's from here to here, is 20x minus 11, and GH is equal to 18x plus 7. So G is the midpoint. That means it's a bisector, right? That means it cuts that segment into two equal parts. Good. So that means, by definition, that FG is equal to GH, right? So therefore, 20x minus 11 is equal to 18x plus 7. And then you can start to solve for x. You're going to get 2x equals 18, x equals 9. Okay. Ta-da! Number 3 is going to be on the other YouTube video, but it is solved there, and I do go into detail about that. Okay, to get rid of those fractions. All right. Also, 28, 28, 29, 30. God, I love this. Okay, is all there for the converse, inverse, contrapositive, and conditional statements. And then make sure that you get to on your vocabulary words as well. Okay. Okay, we still got a lot of time, so let's try and finish this. Okay, it says R is the midpoint of SW. So let's go ahead. SW. Okay, cut that in half. A is the midpoint of RW. So got to put A somewhere in the middle there. That means these two segments are congruent. Okay. Oof. Okay. And T is on SR. So it just says T somewhere on SR. So I'm just going to put T right here. If ST is 3 times as long as TR and SW is 72 centimeters, what is the length of TW? So first and foremost, if ST is 3 times as long as TR and SW equals 72, so do I know what TR is? No. So TR is going to be my unknown X. Okay? SW, the whole entire thing, is 72. And ST, this little part right here, that red part there, okay, is 3 times as long as TR. So it's going to be 3x. Right? Now, again, the line's there for visualization, not for accuracy, right? Because obviously, based on my picture, ST is definitely not 3 times bigger than TR, right? But we're going with the basic to label. Okay, so I know the whole thing is 72 centimeters, right? And we're trying to look for TW. So in order for that to happen, we got to basically find ST, right? If we find ST, we can subtract it from 72 and we get TW. So the best way to do this is to cut this 72 in half. Okay? Why cut it in half? Because SR is half of that 72. Right? So if I cut that 72 in half, that's going to give me 36. So SR equals 36. Now, that's not an answer, but it is going to benefit. Okay? Because I know that SR is equal to ST plus TR. Right? That's segment addition postulate. So therefore, 36 is equal to 3x plus x. 36 equals 4x. X equals 9. So now that I've solved for x, all I have to do is plug it in for the 3x, right? What's 9 times 3? So that tells me that ST is equal to 27. So if I wanted to find TW, I would take 72 and I would subtract 27. So 72 minus 27 gives me 45. So TW is equal to 45. We good? Okay. All right. Now we have some bisectors. I guess this is dealing with some angles here. Okay, DR is the bisector of angle SDE. So let's draw this angle. Again, this is not for accuracy. So angle SDE. Oh, this one's going to be lovely. It's bisector, bisector. Okay, so DR is a bisector. That means that these two angles are congruent. Yes? You know what? Let me get rid of that real quick. I'm not going to draw those little markers. I'm gonna do parenthesis markers because this one gets a little heavy, if you will. Okay. DA is the bisector of angle SDR. DA is the bisector of angle SDR, so that means that these two angles are congruent. Okay. And DC is the bisector of angle SDA. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Why would they do this?
From your reaction, there wasn't any like this on the test.
No. Test is way easier than the review. Okay. So now this angle, we're good? Okay, so first and foremost, I want to show you something because it looks hard, but it really isn't. I want you to identify and notice that these two angles right here are congruent, right? Everyone see that? So I know those angles are congruent. This orange angle is then cut up into two angles right here. Does everyone see those two angles? Right? Then this angle is cut up again in two more angles. Right? So it's half of a half of a half. Half of a half is 1/4. Half of 1/4 is eighth. So this angle right here is 1/8 the whole entire angle. Right? I know it's really hard to see. Okay. So if angle SDC, that's this small angle right here. That's this one right here. Right? This small one right here. If SDC is x minus 1 and SDE, which remind you, if you will, SDE is the whole entire angle, is 9x minus 12. What is the measure of angle CDR? CDR. Okay? That green one is what we're looking for. Okay. So, in order to do that, I can take this x minus 1, which is 1/8, right? This x minus 1 is 1/8, and I can multiply it by 8. 8 times x minus 1. Now, if I multiply it by 8, that's going to give me the whole angle. What is the whole angle? Good. Distribute that 8, and we get 8x minus 8 equals 9x minus 12. It's not as hard as you think, right? Okay. Solving for x, we get x equals 4. Okay. Now that we know what x is, we have to go back and plug it in, right? Easiest right here is that this angle, x minus 1, right? 4 minus 1 is what? 3. So if this angle is 3 degrees, that means this small angle right here is also 3 degrees, right? Now check this out. Isn't this angle 3 degrees too? So what's the measure of this whole entire angle? So if that angle is 6, that means that this angle is also 6, right? Because this is a bisector. So what is 6 plus this 3? It's 9. Okay. So angle CDR equals 9. Yes, this review is a lot harder than your test. Last time I checked, I believe the test is 16 questions. And I picked the 16 hardest.
And it's still easier than this?
No, your test is way easier than this. Okay. All right, let's try and do, we can probably do one or two more. Ooh, let's do 26 and 27 for sure. I'm assuming this means angle A and angle D. Okay, angle A and angle D are complementary angles. What does complementary mean?
Add up to 9 degrees.
They add up to 90, right? So, in other words, angle A plus angle B equal 90, right? Given that angle A is 18 degrees less than twice the measure of angle B, what is the measure of angle B? Okay, so angle A is 18 less than twice B. Do I know? Is there anything that tells me what B is? So what am I going to say B is? Good. So we're gonna go ahead and say that angle B equals X because that's my unknown, right? Okay. Therefore, angle A is 18 degrees less than. What's that then do? It flips it. Okay, less than twice the measure of angle B. So that's going to be 2x minus 18, right? Because it takes that minus 18, takes it to the back. Now, we know that those two angles are complementary, so we can plug it into this formula, right? 2x minus 18 plus x equals 90. 3x minus 18 equals 90. 3x equals 108. And then x equals 108 divided by 3, 36. Okay? And x represents b, right? Isn't that what we said? So therefore, angle B equals 36. Okay? All right, next one. Now they're supplementary. So we're using the same exact angles again. Except now they're supplementary. That means they add up to equal. Okay? Be careful with the saying they're equal to 180. Make sure you say they add up to equal 180, right? Okay, because you want to know the operation you're doing. Okay? So find the measures of the angle. If angle A is 3x plus 50 and angle B is 4x plus 32. Oh, this one's easy. So 3x plus 50 plus 4x plus 32 equals 180. Combine your like terms. 7x plus 82 equals 180, right? 7x equals, what is that? 198. Okay, divide both sides by 7. And x equals 98 divided by 7. 14. Okay. Find the measures of the angles. So now we got to take that 14 and plug it in, right? So we do, for A, angle A, it's going to be 3x, 3 times 14, plus 50. which is 92. So angle A equals 92. Okay, which means angle B must be equal to 88. Because 92 plus 88 equals 180. Yay.